Welcome F1 fans, where qualifying will be starting in the next few minutes as the teams prepare to
move on. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sebastian Vettel career mode. We're back for round 16, I believe, here at the amazing Sochi Autodrome here in Russia. So let's get into it. Qualifying here, we're already in 9th place. Good start as we approach the DRS straight into turn 1. Oh dear, wasn't paying much attention. Really easy to cut the corner into turn 1 or even go wide and exceed the track limits on exit. Now the long swooping left-hander which we saw Daniel Kvyat hit into Sebastian Vettel 2016 I think. Currently first in sector 1, so interestingly we have some pace, although behind us Lewis Hamilton is right there. We do go a little bit wide into the amazing corners that is here in Russia. And well, we're leading. Not much really more to say on that matter. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Trust me. I wasn't paying attention. That hasn't cost us any positions or front wing damage, luckily. We're now approaching the final sector in this track. Will it be pole? Or will it not be pole? To be or not to be? As we come around the final corner now, give it a beautiful cut, and it's pole position.
Excellent lap. We're really pleased.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Vettel, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So we do get another pole position in this career mode. The two Mercedes splitting up our myself and Leclerc. And let's get into the race. Make sure that you do like and subscribe.
It looks like it's that time once again as our drivers prepare themselves for today's big championship race. It's time to go racing then in the Sochi Autodrome, where the long run down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2 is one of 2 DRS zones around this 3.6 mile circuit. The other, of course, down into turn 13. 18 corners make up a lap here today, with an average speed somewhere in the region of 130 miles an hour. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometers per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind is all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Perez, Magnussen, Sainz and Kimi Räikkönen, Norris, Ricciardo, Nico Hülkenberg and Gasly, Kvyat, Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Lance Stroll. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Let's hear what Jeff has to say on the matter.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
Okay, nice, short and simple from him. So, it's obviously going to be a one-stop in these 25% races, starting on the soft and then going on to the medium tyres. The only time we haven't done that was at Britain, and that didn't work for us. But we've got the 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. It's not the greatest of starts. Lewis Hamilton's already put, Valtteri Bottas pulling up on our right-hand side. Quite a bit of contact there. That's now the run into turn 1. Can we hold it round the outside? I think it's 3 wide with the 2 Mercedes. And Bottas is able to get out in front of us. Max Verstappen also having an amazing start from 5th to 3rd. Bottas from 3rd to 1st, so good start from him. We're not going to have to attack him, but also defend from Verstappen as we do go quite wide actually. That's not going to help our run against Bottas. To be honest, I will be honest, I don't really like this track, but you know, we'll brush that aside. We do go a little bit late on the brakes again. It's affected us quite a lot of time actually, it cost us a lot of time. So we're going to try and get that back as soon as we can. ERS into high now. As we approach the middle stages of the first lap, our teammate not having the greatest of starts, he's down to 5th or 6th place. Meanwhile, we're still trying to chase down the Finnish driver, Valtteri Bottas. We do have Verstappen gaining on us at the same time, so it's going to be tricky to try and keep this position, but hopefully we can do our best to defend and stay in front of him. But we're just about to come across and finish the first lap, and hopefully we'll get a good exit in the slipstream that we need to try and have a go into turn 1. We've got the ERS in overtake. Verstappen is not too close behind us. We're in the slipstream now. We're gaining and gaining. Inside, outside. It will be the outside. Try and go around the outside. Nice move, and we're up into the lead of the race. I'm sure Bottas will be looking to have another go at us. Actually, he goes to the inside. As he actually tries to go around the outside, so that could have been a really good move if he was able to get it, if he was able to make the move stick, but he's now going to try and go around the outside of us again. That didn't really come out well, but he was able to make the move stick. And now we've got Verstappen, who I thought was down the inside, but you know, the red proximity arrow blended in with the red of our car.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
That was close to losing the rear as we run wide onto the AstroTurf. Now down the straight, it's a bit of a curve, but it's a DRS zone anyway, so it counts as a straight in my eyes. Hamilton's getting past Verstappen behind us. Meanwhile, we're still chasing down Valtteri Bottas. Into the final sector now. Verstappen's got back past Lewis Hamilton, and I believe our teammate has as well, so Lewis losing 2 positions there. Meanwhile, Valtteri's got quite a bit of a gap actually. We do have the DRS, he's got a little bit of a gap on us. Hopefully we can stay within the DRS range, otherwise that Mercedes will be gone and just keep on going. Anyway, into turn 1. A little bit of a corner cut, but we get away with it. Chasing down Valtteri Bottas. We still do have Max Verstappen behind us. So hopefully myself and Bottas don't battle too hard. My finger actually slipped off the controller there, off the accelerator. That was a annoyance, but yeah, never mind, we'll ignore it and plough on in this race. Currently in 2nd place, our championship rivals down in 6th or 5th I think, or somewhere like that. We still do have the DRS on Bottas, so hopefully we can maybe even getting closer or even go for a move. It's going to be a late move to the inside. There was contact, but that almost could have ended in tears for both myself and Bottas, but we get away with it. I was looking for that inside, didn't quite find the inside, but you know, you can't get, you can always look. We still have Verstappen behind us, as we actually set the fastest lap of the race. With the DRS open into turn 1, really late on the brakes. I've completely misjudged my braking point. We take it to the escape road, don't get in the illegal overtake, but we're going to let him through if he wants to go through. That was an illegal overtake on my behalf, so I will let him actually go on, head back through, just waiting for him to go back through. That's cost us a bit of time to Verstappen. So it's now become more of a three-way battle for the lead here. We'll see what we can do about it. But we're currently running in P2 after starting on pole, so it's not been the best of start. Well, it's not been the worst of starts actually. It's been an okay start. But this time around we're much closer to Bottas this time, so maybe we can look for a move on the inside or the outside. You pick inside, outside. We're going to look for the outside. Try and hold it around the outside. We're a little bit late on the brakes, and then Bottas is able to swoop round us and reclaim the lead of this race. But we haven't actually got the best of runs, which could allow Max Verstappen to have a go at us into turn 2, because obviously turn 1's that little right-hander. Anyway, through the final few corners now, onto lap 4. 5, sorry. We've opened the DRS. I don't think we're close enough to get the move. Bottas! Late braking, and we do make contact. We do chip off a little bit of our wing. That's allowing Max Verstappen to have a look around the outside. Backs out of it. The gap to Bottas is now 1.1 seconds, so hopefully we can gain a tenth on him and get the DRS on the straight. Just have to wait and see. We do get the DRS, this is excellent. Verstappen, I think, will also have the DRS on us, so we've kind of, us three have kind of pulled away a bit from Charles Leclerc, you can see on the map. And actually we're gaining on Bottas. We're going to look for the inside. He locks up and there's quite a big bit of contact. We're going to try the switchback manoeuvre. Down the inside. There's not room.
Our gap behind is 3.7 seconds.
Well, that has not ended well. All the way down in 14th, sorry. Ouch. Really annoying place to spin there, because you've got to wait for all the cars to come back through before you can actually regain them on the track safely. So that's put us all the way down to 13th. So it's not going to be another comeback drive from us. Got Pierre Gasly in front of us, so really disappointing for that battle to end like that. We do cut the corner, mainly in frustration, but we're now going to look for a move down the inside of Gasly. And he actually goes really late on the brakes there. Wow, interesting, but we're going to cut back to the inside and maybe even get Daniel Ricciardo. No, we won't get Ricciardo yet, but hopefully in the next few corners we'll be able to get past the Renault driver and push on with our race. As you can see, we're all over the back of his gearbox now. He does go defensive, not the best corner to go defensive at, so we're going to look to the left hand side. Can't quite get the traction yet, so we will get a look on the straight into hot lap. I just really overtake actually. We'll go to overtake and easily brush past the Renault and have Carlos Sainz up in front. Meanwhile, the guys at the front still haven't changed positions after our incident. I think Bottas is actually pulling a little bit away from Verstappen. So yeah, really unfortunate to spin here, because you saw we were like literally there on the left hand side, so it's hard to turn the car around in the right direction and not move onto the racing line. So I probably could have done it a little bit quicker, but what's happened has happened. We will be pitting this lap.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
There's Jeff with the confirmation. As we now have the run on signs, we should easily make the move on him. In the McLaren, on the left hand side, the outside line, into turn 1 we get the move done before the corner, which is excellent. Oh, accidentally downshift to second gear there, my bad. But next up we have our former teammate Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo, doing well in 9th place for his team. So far no retirements, so that's really good for everyone else. No engine failures or anything like that. And so yeah, we're trying to gain on Kimi Räikkönen here. We do have to pit. Well, we are going to pit this lap, so hopefully we don't get held up in too much traffic in the pit lane. But then, in all fairness, there's not many people behind us, so we'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully we can get the undercut. The undercut maybe on some of these guys. The undercut being we pit early for fresh tyres, and we push hard on those fresh tyres compared to the other guys who have stayed out. They'll be on their worn soft tyres. So the same works for the overcut. We do get a little bit loose on the rear, running wide. So we are going to come into the pits now. Change the tyres. Interestingly, the only driver to come into the pits other than Daniel Ricciardo. He came in a lap earlier. Oh no, he didn't. There was the other Renault, Nico Hulkenberg, then came in a lap earlier. It's a 2.7 second stop, quite slow. And we are going to come out in last place, pretty much, apart from the Haas, Grosjean.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So let's see what position we do come out in when all the other AI drivers make their pit stops. Going through turn 2 now, and so yeah, now we're on the medium tyres, the middle compound of tyre, the yellow striped one. Got 5 laps to go, lap 8 out of 13. We do have Nico Hulkenberg in front of us, so we'll try and make the move on him as quick as we can. And gain in on the other guys who haven't made their pit stops, who I believe is pretty much everyone other than us three at the back. So we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we can get it done as quick as possible. We are going to have the DRS actually on Hulkenberg. Wasn't expecting to gain on him so quickly, but we're going to put it up into medium actually. We don't need to use all the ERS to get this move done, because there we go, around the outside. And our teammate actually into the pits. That's how far in front he is after our spin with Bottas this corner. So that's just how much time we lost on the leaders. And now we're playing the comeback game, and we're currently in 18th place, but that's all about to change in the next 2 or 3 laps. As we come around the final corner now, we'll see where we come out in respective to some of the other guys.
So I expect they fixed whatever the problem was.
So if someone had a problem, and hang on, look at that, there's Leclerc on the minimap. So we've actually gained time as we go down the inside of Perez, late move, and there's our teammate. How we have gained so much time in the pit lane based off the undercut. So I'm going to guess that Leclerc and Hamilton were held up. I think that's Hamilton. Were held up by all the other guys pitting in, because their pit stops are right there, like their pit boxes are right at the front of the pit lane, and with everyone else coming in behind them, they probably got held up. So now we're kind of back up into this battle for the top 3 maybe. So this has got interesting actually, as we now are right behind the Ferrari of our teammate. It's going to be slightly more difficult to make this move than the other guys that we overtook earlier, but we are gaining and gaining on the Ferrari. And we're actually going to go down the inside. Two Ferraris side by side. Let's keep it clean, as we are still side by side into the final sector. We don't really want to be going side by side into here, but we make it work, and we're still side by side. Leclerc holding it on the left hand side. Hopefully, I don't know, we can get some team orders in, but we do squeeze him out to the outside and get the move stick on our teammate, and there is no damage done to either car, thankfully. But now everyone else is in the pits. Magnussen actually opts for the hard tyres, interestingly, and there's Alex Albon. We come out ahead of Alexander Albon in the Red Bull, and we're up into 5th place, so that's how much time we've gained by staying out. All the AI getting held up in their pit boxes, and actually we're in P4 because there is a Toro Rosso currently leading this race, who I don't believe is legitimately winning. So that's actually we haven't actually lost too much. Well, we have lost quite a bit of time. We've lost like 15 points worth of time, but all in all, it's not too. Actually, 13 points in time, but not that bad actually. After our spin, we've made a big comeback. We're in 14th at one point, and now we're up into 4th place. Oh, apologies about that. But anyway, now we're trying to gain in Lewis Hamilton, our championship rival. We're beating him in the championship by 20. Well, we're leading him in the championship by 28 points. So he will reduce that gap this race, as if it was to finish as it is now. I think we're gaining on him, but I also think he's gaining on the Red Bulls. We actually set the fastest lap of the race, interestingly. So we're pulling away from Leclerc, and I think we're gaining on... Oh, Lewis! That was close to the barrier! Into the first few corners. Careful not to get a penalty. I think we're one warning away from a penalty, which we will have to avoid. But we get ever so closer to the Mercedes. Whether there are enough laps to actually make the move, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, into sector 2, the middle sectors of this track. Just try to keep it in.
Are you alright? Engine off, engine off.
Ouch. What happened here? We just completely understeered, and our teammate comes along. Oh, Charles. Couldn't quite react in time. And that's both Ferraris out of the Russian Grand Prix. That's going to be a devastating blow in the championship. Let's see what the commentators have to say about that.
That's it for another Grand Prix, and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
It has to be said, Roman Grosjean certainly had my eye today. He made impressive gains during the race.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes move to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
And there we have it. Both Ferrari drivers out after I made a mistake and ran wide and collided with the barrier, but he actually finished the race somehow, so his tyre... Yeah, look, he made 2 pit stops. Really interesting how he was able to get that car back to the pits, but really unfortunate from us. All the way down in last place after getting the fastest lap and qualifying on pole. And in terms of the standings, that's brought the gap now down to 10 points. As Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen move their way up into the field. And in terms of constructors, we actually get overtaken by Mercedes after both of us not scoring points. And really unfortunate from us, but hopefully we can bounce back. And I hope you join us next time for the Japanese Grand Prix. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.